Today we are speaking about Mr. Malcolm X. We might look a little bit alike, and I love that for me. Redheads for life. He seemed to be the anti-MLK. More on that later. Malcolm X was a pivotal civil rights leader and human rights activist who championed black empowerment, self-reliance, and racial pride. As the most prominent advocate of black nationalism in the 1960s, he fundamentally shifted the American civil rights conversation, inspiring generations of activists worldwide with his unapologetic pursuit of equality. His forever significance is rooted in several key contributions and his personal evolution. He was a champion of black pride and self-determination. He urged black Americans to stop seeking validation from white society, emphasizing the importance of learning their own history, celebrating their culture, and building economic self-sufficiency. He was a huge advocate for self-defense, unlike the mainstream integrationist and nonviolent approach of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Malcolm X advocated for human rights and self-defense by any means necessary, which gave a voice to the profound frustration and understandable anger felt by many marginalized black Americans. His life represents one of America's most famous journeys of personal transformation. From a youth who faced severe trauma and incarceration, he became a national spokesman for the Nation of Islam. Later, following his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1964, he embraced Orthodox Sunni Islam, renounced his previous separatist views, and expressed a desire to work alongside all civil rights groups. He expanded the black struggle from a regional civil rights issue to a global human rights movement, advocating for international solidarity against oppression. Following his assassination in 1965, the publication of the autobiography of Malcolm X solidified his legacy. For decades, his direct rhetoric and emphasis on cultural identity have deeply influenced a variety of movements, from the 1960s Black Power and Black Arts movement to modern cultural icons and global justice advocates. So I mentioned earlier that Malcolm X was frequently framed as the anti-MLK by the media, the white establishment, and even some civil rights activists during the 1960s. Because his philosophy of self-defense and black nationalism directly clashed with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s doctrine of nonviolent integration, the public widely viewed them as polar opposites. This is a great time to define black nationalism. Black nationalism is a socio-political idea that advocates for racial solidarity, self-determination, and the creation or empowerment of independent institutions for black communities. This is obviously a reaction to systemic racism and white supremacy. It favors self-reliance and cultural pride over racial integration. And for the people who don't know, black Americans have been building our own shit basically since slavery. Wilmington, North Carolina in 1998, a thriving majority black city where white supremacists staged a violent plan. They overthrew the elected biracial government, killed dozens of black residents, and drove black businesses and leadership out of town. We have Colfax, Louisiana in 1873, Elaine, Arkansas in 1919, St. Louis, Illinois, 1917, Florida, 1923, and maybe the most widely known is the Tulsa Race Massacre in Oklahoma. The burnings, looting, and massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma took place over 18 hours from May 31st to June the 1st, 1921. During this time, a white mob attacked the prosperous African-American neighborhood of Greenwood, frequently referred to as Black Wall Street. Tulsa's Greenwood district was called Black Wall Street because it was one of the most affluent, self-sufficient, and successful African American commercial hubs in the United States. The famous educator and author Booker T. Washington originally coined the phrase Negro Wall Street after visiting the neighborhood in the early 20th century. Historians estimate that Upwards of 100 black communities, neighborhoods, and towns were severely damaged or entirely destroyed by white mobs between the end of the Civil War and the 1940s. By 1921, the 35-block neighborhood boasted super luxury and stunning modern conveniences that rivaled or exceeded neighboring white districts because, of course, it did. We are literally the salt and spices and rhythm of this country. So, for the people who need to, put some respect on our names forever. Furthermore, historical records document that African Americans were violently expelled or driven completely out of at least 50 towns, cities, and counties across the United States during this era. I would like to also throw in that my grandma was born in 1921. So what I'm about to say will be controversial, but it's honest. Because the U.S. brought us here and raped and ate us and made furniture out of our skin and hair while having picnics where they hung us or raped our men, and they whitewashed the shit out of everything. We know that our black dollars and all this magic in our melanin would be missed if we all came together and built another Tulsa or Rosewood. And again, we can give the racists exactly what they wanted. This video is about Malcolm X, but I was looking into black nationalism and I went down that hole. This video was not supposed to lead me here, but I'm gonna go with it. I have a theory that's also a personal belief that might be shocking to some, but I don't want to end on that note with no explanation. So please follow for part 2. Bye.